Creating images that feel like they're out of a movie has always been a dream of mine. When you see a video that was shot on film, you sometimes see a blurred halo around the highlighted areas. It's an effect called halation, and it's something digital cameras don't provide. So what if I told you that there is a way to achieve this look that so many people absolutely love? Halation is a beautiful effect to mimic, so pay close attention and let me show you exactly how it's done today. Halation is a visual effect that shows when shooting on film, that is most evident as red-orange halos that usually appear on the contrasting edges of overexposed areas. When light hits the film stock, you generally get this blooming that it's all about. Most often around the bright light sources, and the halation is usually very visible in night scenes. In front of us is a frame from the film Top Gun, which was filmed in 1986. And if we zoom in on the fragment with light sources, we will see the classic halation halos. Pay attention to the border of overexposure. The halos have an orange tint, and as we move away from the border, they turn red. When light hits the film stock, you generally get this blooming that it's all about. So with our power grade in Davinci Resolve, we will now mimic the processed film by adding the digital glow. Let's get into it and pay close attention. Alright, let's now open Davinci Resolve and start editing. As you can see, we already have a color graded clip in the timeline that we're going to use to apply the halation effect to. I have found that the best results can be achieved by placing the halation effect node at the end of the node tree. Now you open up the OFX effects library, find the halation effect and drag it to our node. Let's immediately rename it to remember the effect and where it's placed. In front of us is the halation effects menu. Now leave the processing color space set to use timeline. Click the view isolated regions and then use the threshold slider to get to the point where we can see much less detail on our subject's face. Then turn off view isolated regions again and use the strength slider to increase the value on the dye layer reflection step. The strength parameter is responsible for the brightness of the reflections of our effect. In our example, we settled on a value of 0.686. The values above seem very strong and the values below do not allow the effect to manifest as much. Therefore, the value of 0.686 is optimal for us in this case. Now let's move on to the spread slider and adjust it. Simply put, spread determines the scope of our effect. After experimenting with the spread value, I decided to stop at 0.220. And now it's time to reveal our secret ingredient for the perfect halation effect. Click on the item Fine-Tune Relative Spread and adjust these parameters per channel. The first thing we're going to do is decrease the blue spread value. In our case, we will settle with 0.2 for blue spread. Since we want more red and less blue, we will increase the red spread to 1.7. Green spread in our case, we will leave it unchanged. The main thing to understand is that with these three sliders, we can adjust the hue of our effect. And in our case, we will settle for 1.7 for red spread, 1.0 for green spread, and 1.2 for blue spread. To make sure that the halation effect applies only to the brightest areas, let's click on View Glow Alone. It shows the areas that are affected by our effect. Well, we can see that our effect only affects the brightest part of the image, so we can leave the default values. However, if we wanted to reduce the spread of the effect, we simply need to increase the Reduce Highlights value to the level that suits us. It is important to remember that halation is a tool that is meant to finish the material and it should not be very conspicuous. And now let's see what the material looks like before and after. And I think it looks great, so now we can copy the halation node and apply it to another clip. Let's try to do this. So here we have another clip and we're going to apply my LUT to it so that we don't have to grade it from scratch. And now we're going to paste the halation effect to it. I think it looks great, however sometimes we will need to reduce the strength of the effect to make it look realistic. Let's reduce the strength of the effect a little in the global blend tab. In our case we will stop at 0.750, which makes the effect look organic. So yeah, that's the halation effect. If this video was a little bit fast, I suggest you go back and watch it again and use it as a reference for grading your own clip. So just have it on the side when grading your own clips so you can follow along exactly. If you want to download the LUTs that I use on a daily basis, you can go to the link in the description to check them out, and here are some before and afters when using them. These clips are shot with Blackmagic Generation 5, RED and log format. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial, and please let me know a suggestion for further tutorials on color grading in the comments or anything else. I'm heading to Mauritania in 2 days to shoot a film for my main channel. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and hopefully I can continue uploading weekly on this channel as well.